Let's fix Monday Night Raw. It's not a secret that day by day Monday Night Raw gets worse and worse. WWE's flagship show is probably the worst out of SmackDown, Raw, NXT, 205, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, or is it maybe, okay, maybe I'm exaggerating. The point is, Raw is not war anymore, Raw is shit. Haters will say I'm not funny. In 2018, Raw has been suffering from a lack of people's interest probably more than ever before. Obvious reasons being lack of creativity, lack of good storylines, and lack of common sense. Vince McMahon wins. Lack of common sense is also a big problem right now in the WWE. It's not the 90s, 80s anymore. But today I decided not to be negative. Well, I'm always negative, so that will be hard, but I'm gonna be kinda positive. I'm gonna try to give you things that would fix Monday Night Raw in a way. I'm gonna give you the biggest that would make the most impact in my opinion. So I'm basically gonna tell you the biggest problems and how to fix them. Let's get honest for a second. The only good thing on Raw right now is the Intercontinental Mid-Card division. The only good thing is Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. This is the only good thing. If you can find anything also good, I will be very, very surprised and shocked. So let's start with the tag team division. Now, tag team division is not that bad, but the way they use it is absolutely horrendous. When you think about it, you have Authors of Pain, you have Broken Hardy and Bray Wyatt, somehow that's a thing. You have the Revival. But the problem is they're not either booked right or they're not in rivalries that they should be in. Don't get me wrong, I'm a huge fan of Curtis Axel. But him and Bo Dallas are comedy act. They are not a serious threat. Even if they are, it's in a fluke way, in a comedic way somehow, because that's funny in the WWE, right? Wrestling. And Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt also are kinda comedic tag team, so when you have both of these happening at the same time, it seems like the tag team division is also living up to the name of Raw is sh**. What we need to have is Authors of Pain actually winning the tag team championships and be in a rivalry against someone like Revival, but before that you also need to build Revival. Revivals are jobbers. They job to DX, they job to Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley every week, so from once one of the best WWE tag teams of NXT to absolute jobbers. Meet Ascension, who are also on Raw and also are jobbers. It seems like we never had a successful NXT tag team on main roster. Did we? Did we? I don't think we ever had that. So the problem with the tag team division is that there's no legitimacy. You need to bring that by making it a bit more serious, with serious tag teams. Now, many of you will disagree, but in my opinion, if you have multiple talents who have nothing to do on the main roster on Monday Night Raw, why don't you put them in a tag team and have a rivalry where basically two former main eventers or mid-carders are in a tag team and they win the tag team championships, in my opinion. Now, this is unpopular opinion probably, but I absolutely love tag teams made out of two former mid-card or main event talents because I think it seems more legit. For example, Rated RKO or Shawn Michaels and Triple H. I know people don't like that very much, but I absolutely love it and I think it brings more legitimacy to the tag team division. Another problem is please cut the filler. I absolutely understand why you cannot have a 2-hour Raw anymore because advertisers and all the shit they have with the television, whatever the case may be, it's not actually WWE's choice. But the problem is because of 3 hours we have so much filler. I watch some kind of good segment, then I watch a full hour of Titus Worldwide shit, Kurt Hawkins, Braun Strowman beating some kind of jobbers, pie contests. Not the reason I actually tune into Raw, not the reason WWE, so please cut the filler. Instead of having random matches, why don't you have more rivalries, interesting rivalries? Why don't you have more segments? I would absolutely rather watch a longer, good segment or a few more segments instead of 5 random matches that I don't give a shit about. That's just me though. Maybe the problem is that we don't have the Universal Champion on Raw, so we don't really have these segments and, you know, we have to give it 3 hours and we don't have the champion, so yeah, that's a bit of a problem, you know, so That's on WWE, by the way. That's your problem. What the hell is happening with the women's division in 2018? I think the best women's division we ever had in WWE history was in 2016. An actual rivalry between these two women, Sasha Banks and Charlotte. I wasn't really a huge fan of that, but it was a good rivalry. It was actually a good rivalry whether you like it or not. It was a serious rivalry fighting for a championship. Many people criticize the fact that the title changed hands so many times during this rivalry, but I think it did the job. Maybe it was too much, I agree with that, but it did the job because it was about the championship, about pride, about who's stronger. Well, you know the problem with that in 2018, we have Sasha Banks and Bayley in cabinets being a comedy act. Angerment issues. We have two big rivalries right now in Raw. Both of them remind me of high school. We have Bayley and Sasha Banks. You're not my friend anymore. You are my friend. You know what? I don't like you anymore. I'm befriending you. Sasha, understand that I'm not your friend anymore. Sasha. Another rivalry that you have on Monday Night Raw when it comes to women's division is the Women's Championship. Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss. Possibly the worst rivalry I've seen in like 2 or 3 years. I'm not even kidding about anti-bullying. She bullied me. I'm not fat. How do you call me fat? It's so bad to do that. It's so generic. It's so generic, and the fact that the Women's Championship is involved in that is absolutely horrendous. It's not about the championship anymore. It's about body shaming. 2018, right? 2018, everybody is pussified, so we need to have a rivalry where we don't body shame people. The message is good, but not for a women's championship rivalry. I think right now we should have a rivalry between someone like Sasha Banks versus, I don't know, Ronda Rousey for the women's championship. Now this right here, you can actually understand that yes, this is about fighting, this is about the championship, this is legit. Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax is not legit. Okay, another problem is the Universal Championship. What do we do with this red shit? Okay, we gotta understand, we gotta accept it. We gotta accept it because it was born this way. Universal Championship is just a red, ugly brother of the WWE Championship. So what do? We accept that. You know what? We don't accept that, the build around this championship. Where is this title? There are rumors that Brock Lesnar's drunk neighbor is actually drinking beer, spitting his spits on the championship right now. He's farting near the championship and Brock Lesnar doesn't even realize that because he doesn't care. The whole division, main event division is what I'm talking about. We need to change that. We need to actually do something with that, if that makes sense. The rivalry that we should have right now is Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns while Seth Rollins is facing Dolph Ziggler. That's what we should have. Instead, there's no universal rivalry. You have Roman Reigns arguing with Bobby Lashley, and let's be honest here, no one gives a single tiny f***ing shit. So basically, in the next 2 months, please make sure that Brock Lesnar is losing the Universal Championship and then move on. Completely move on from this Brock Lesnar and Universal title thing. Completely move on, have some fresh rivalries, have the Universal Championship on Raw and actually fight for it. And I think 30% of Raw is actually going to be more entertaining. That's probably the biggest issue. Another big problem is that we don't have serious long rivalries. We don't have legit stories. You can have the titles, you can have both titles, you can have everything. It doesn't even matter if you don't have an interesting story. When was the last time we had something like John Cena versus CM Punk, Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho, Randy Orton versus Triple H? When was the last time we had something this long and actually interesting and creative? A perfect example of what we need on Monday Night Raw is Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. An absolute beast of a rivalry. Emotion, matches, investment of fans, everything is here. If you would have at least 30% of what that rivalry had on the main roster, it would be perfect. Please do that. And another huge problem is Brock Lesnar. Believe it or not, I don't think that WWE should get rid of Brock Lesnar. Yes, I'm tired of his WWE Universal title reign, but once he is not in a title picture, I actually care about Brock Lesnar's matches. Believe it or not, I actually kinda do. Once he's not actually in a title picture, I kinda am happy with that because he's not taking spots from anyone. The Universal Championship would be on Raw, and we would also have these big rivalries, WrestleMania-worthy rivalries every 2 or 3 or 5 months. I would be perfectly okay with that. So basically the thing that you need to do is get rid of the Universal Championship from Lesnar and put Lesnar in different rivalries. So these are my problems of Monday Night Raw and pretty much ways I would try to fix them. Let me know in the comments below more problems that need to be fixed and how would you actually do it. Like this video if you enjoyed. If you want to support the channel, make sure to go to my Twitter, follow me, and Instagram. Cool pictures out here of the huge gigantic forehead you just can't get enough of. Thanks for watching this video, The Great One. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.